Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Dr. Cheryl Clarke, and it's Tuesday, so that means I'm here and I'm giving you this power call for this morning. We only here for like 20 minutes, but I give you this power call, this boost to begin to move in this season of your life and see what is it that I'm moving into? What is it that I'm being? Speaking my power, moving with power. If this is your first time here, welcome to the call. I I think I'm commissioned in that I'm a psychotherapist. And what I've learned throughout my time of being a psychotherapist is this one thread that usually continues to happen with people, and that is the communication. They get stuck, or they don't know how to speak effectively, they don't know how to control their emotions and be able to move in the moment. So a lot of times what I have been commissioned to do, I feel like I've been commissioned to do as a therapist and as a Black woman and as a woman that has been in the space of understanding, that I had to shrink in spaces. I had to code switch. I had to do a lot of things to begin to fit in. And there's a certain things that I do now that I said, you know what? I normalized it and they weren't normal. So I had to begin to look and see what in my experience that I learned that I can unlearn. And then one of my experience is that how can I teach others how to begin to get unconditioned from the way that we've been conditioned all our lives? So there's things and places and ways that we've been conditioned that you don't have to stay in the state that you're in. And it starts with your voice. It starts with the power of your voice. That's what I believe God has given us, the ability to begin to speak with power, speak with power. So I'm commissioned to teach people how to communicate effectively. So I'm the author of Girl You Cute. And in the very beginning, it has the Speak Your Power declaration. We're going to start there. I want you, if you can, take a nice long, slow, deep breath into the nostrils. Hold, 2, 3, and exhale it out. Repeat silently to yourself after me. Today I reclaim my power of purpose. Today I declare that I have unshakable faith and confidence in my uniqueness. Today I declare that I will not live in fear, but with power, love, and a sound mind. Today I declare that I will always communicate with words to empower myself and others. Today I declare to always honor myself by living in the present and living powerfully in each moment. Amen and Ashe. All right, so today, I always have a topic for you, and today's topic is like no other. It's a topic that is specifically for us and by us. What do I mean by that? I really have a passion for teaching my brown, my women of color how to begin to stand in their own power, using their voice. That is your superpower. You may not know how to begin to do that. So here I am. Before we start to talk about using our voice, I need to let you know that you need to check in with your body. Check in with your body, because today we're going to be talking about emotional literacy. And that's the missing link in beginning to hold in your voice, speaking with your power, emotional literacy. So I want you to check in with your body right now. Take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And notice when you're holding on to things, right? And notice when you just held your breath, your chest gets a little tight, right? But when you release it, you begin to relax. See, one word that begins to look inside of me when I don't have agency to begin to speak, or have agency to begin to be, we've normalized our survival and we actually glorified it. I'm strong. I got through that. I did that. Many of us are rewarded also for being quiet. That we're rewarded for being low maintenance. We were, okay, she doesn't need a whole lot. She don't need help. And we use silence as a protection. Sometimes we get disconnected. We don't even ask our community for help. Holding it on. So we got to survive and hunker down. And it costs you your voice. So, what I'm going to talk to you today about is going to be very powerful, I believe. I believe it's going to be powerful because this is something that you probably never even heard. And that's emotional literacy. And no one ever taught you this. I can assure you they probably never even heard the concept. Because you can't communicate what you can't name. So let's talk about this tap into the skill that is going to connect you to your voice that you may have been not really connecting with your voice. So when you do this, so when someone asks you this famous question, when the last time somebody asked you, how you feeling? And you said, I'm fine. How many people says, no, I'm not fine. I'm stressed out. I'm overwhelmed. How many of us who come on, let's be honest. How many of us do say that? When they say, how you feeling? I'm fine. That's our automatic response. I know that was mine. Let me see in the chat. Anybody gonna tell me? Maybe it's me. My automatic response is, I'm fine. And this is what happens. And actually, you may be overwhelmed. Maybe the responsibilities are coming at you fast. Maybe you are lost for someone. Maybe you felt dismissed at work. Maybe you're holding on resentment for someone else. Maybe you're holding on resentment for the past. And so we cannot say that. We can't even say how we feel in the moment. We never was really taught about emotional literacy. So what is emotional literacy? Let me get that. It's you firstly identifying what you're feeling inside of you. Taking that moment, like we did with that breath, and identifying what's inside of you, what you're feeling. And then understanding, really connecting, why are you feeling this? And then being able to express it to others. There's layers to this. And then managing it without suppressing or exploding. Now, how many of us have these habits of we may be exploding? So when you feel it, you got to notice it, not just minimize it. You got to name it so you can be accurate, so you can understand what's actually happening. And then being able to safely express what you're saying. You can't speak your power if you don't have the language in your inner world to speak your power. So there's a cost for holding it in. There's a cost for holding it in. If we hold it in too long, that's that passive aggressive, we explode, right? We may explode at some point. If there's a cost of holding it in, we may be misunderstood because now somebody's going to clarify what you're thinking, and you were not thinking that at all. The cost of maybe feeling that you're invisible, but you're present, your body is there, but you don't say a word, you don't say anything. And then what about the physical, the somatic things that can happen? You can get sick, you can have stomach aches, you can have headaches, you can have a whole lot of things. You feel like you're having a heart attack because your heart is about to beat out of your chest. And these are unexpressed emotions, and they don't disappear. It finds its way in another way out, like the explosion, like some of the things that may happen in your body. Maybe the thing of feeling invisible. So when you are looking at yourself and when you are now have emotional literacy, see, the problem is not you can't find it to speak up. You have to know what you're actually feeling to see how you can express the words effectively. Because if we don't, We're going to be saying that we're over emotional, you're dramatic, you're always crying, you're not strong, or be strong. Don't show weakness, keep it together, right? And those things may be slowly killing you. So today, I want to teach you something that someone probably never taught you before. And how you're going to go from holding it to speaking it and moving with emotional literacy. And because from a little girl, you may have learned something. You may have learned if you cried, you got punished. Stop crying. What you crying for? What you crying for? If you got angry, don't you get that attitude with me. You showed fear. There's nothing to be scared of. Toughen up. Let's go. You expressed hurt. You too sensitive. All of these things we have labels for. So you became that strong one. You can't show vulnerability. You can't do this. You have to carry everybody else's burdens. So that's when the angry stereotype of the angry Black woman comes into space. If she expresses frustration, she's being too aggressive. If she shows emotion, she's being dramatic or difficult. So we learn expression to express our emotions, and they label you. So as a result, you may hold it in. And this is what happens when high blood pressure comes in, sleep problems, tension, chronic stress. With your mental health, you get anxiety, depression, overwhelm, numbness, burnout. Sometimes your relationships struggle. You can't express needs. You don't see the support. You build resentment over people because you can't express yourself what you really need. People pleasing, all those things. And in the professional realm, you don't even know how to advocate for yourself. Or if you do, you're going to get punished. And then how do you walk in a space when it's not easy for you to walk in a space? So emotional literacy, actually, I want you to begin to look at this. You're going to name your feeling. I'm going to do this very quickly. You're going to name it, you're going to feel it, name it, choose it, speak it. All right? Those are the four words we're going to say to each other. Let me put it in the chat. We're going to name it, we're going to feel it, name it, choose it, and speak it. Let's break it down. Feel it. What is happening in my body? You're going to name it. I'm angry. I feel disappointed. I feel fear. Then you're going to choose. What do I need right now? What is it that I need right now? And then speak. How do I say this without attacking anyone or abandoning my own self if I'm feeling angry? Speak up doesn't mean that you're being loud, it's that you're being clear. So moving through this moment is that now you can actually move into this without fixing anything, without over explaining. Just name it. I'm angry. You don't owe anybody your pain. You owe yourself clarity so you can be able to speak it. See, emotional literacy, what it does, it improves your relationships. It reduces a whole lot of resentment. It strengthens your leadership. It aligns your voice with your own values. Your emotions are information, not instructions. But you've been ignoring them. So you keep silence because it keeps you safe. So today I want you to begin to practice this. Whatever the feeling is, whether you're happy, sad, you can do this when it doesn't mean when you're upset, you could just, whatever emotion, happy, sad, angry, stressed, whatever that is. It's hundreds of emotions out there. But I need you to begin to look at, instead of just saying I'm stressed, instead of just saying I'm stressed, You can say, I'm overwhelmed in this moment. I have a lot on my plate and I need support. Who can I look for support? Because you're naming it now. Remember, just name it. That's the first thing you're gonna do. You're gonna name you felt it. You're gonna get it with your body, you're gonna feel it, get in tune with your body, do that breathing, get in tune with that body, and then you're gonna name it. I feel overwhelmed. And then you're gonna choose you. You're gonna choose to say, why am I feeling this way? What just happened? Because I said I was gonna host a party. Then I have a deadline due for work. Then I have to take the kids to football practice. And then I also have to have some responsibilities at church. I'm feeling overwhelmed. So now you got the why you feeling this way, because now you're understanding that you named it, you chose it, you did all that. But why am I feeling guilty? Why am I feeling this way? Because I expect my family to understand this, and I expect them to help me. That's why I'm feeling this way. I expect now you did all this, you named all of this and you did all this. Now I'm expecting my family. Now you have the expectation, a solid expectation on someone. No. Did you express that you needed that support? Because sometimes resentment can seep up, and then the resentment and the patterns, and you start to go in this guilt that you have to do it. So let me show you how to express it clearly. Once you know what the feeling is, once you know why, now you need to express it in a way that we're not taught. So remember I started off with I'm fine? That's suppressing. You may always do this. Or maybe you may explode. So when someone asks you something and in that moment, like, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I took on too much. I need to adjust my commitments a little bit with you. Is it possible we can have a conversation? Because maybe you need to ask them if they have a moment to have that conversation. That's another thing. We just go into conversations. We just go right into conversations. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Because then you're going to feel overwhelmed and the other person's going to feel overwhelmed. So you need to have a conversation that's a good time for both of you to speak. Maybe that support person is feeling safe for them to ask for support. How about at your job when you feel dismissed from your ideas? They weren't acknowledged in a meeting. Go to that person after and then do me a favor. Don't do it in front of a audience. Get them to the side. Can I get a meeting with you? Because that's the worst thing you could do is do it in front of people. Because then you will then set yourself up for maybe them feeling embarrassed as well. Or maybe you're feeling resentful because someone said something to you. Or maybe you put on something, you said yes, and you wanted to really say no. So moving forward, I want you to be clear and clear about your emotional literacy and manage your body. You need to manage your nervous system without suppressing or exploding. Those are the major two. Some of us stay quiet, some of us explode. Holding them and lashing out, either one, it doesn't work. All right. So if you find yourself yelling, you find yourself shutting down, you find yourself overwhelmed, and you begin passive aggressive with the resentment, you need to know that you need to regulate self. So I want you to start building emotional literacy today. If that's a new vocabulary word, great, wonderful. Instead of saying stressed, I'm overwhelmed. Too much to do. I'm anxious. I'm a little worried about the outcome. I'm frustrated. Things aren't working the way I had planned. Can we work out some things? I'm exhausted. I have no energy left. I need to go take a nap. And then you find yourself in this way. Check your body. If you feel like your body is anxiety, and then when we angry, do you look at your like, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get this. You gotta look your shoulders. You know, my shoulders tense up. My friends tell me all the time, Cheryl, it's on your face. So you gotta look at yourself if you're feeling anxious. Why do I do this? Because a lot of times I worked a lot with my own anxiety. I was prone for panic attacks. So I don't allow anything. If I do see a trigger of things happening to me, I don't judge it. I move with it. I don't suppress it. I feel it. Whatever the situation is. So the formula is this. I feel it, right? When you feel it, you got to feel it first. Then you got to name it, right? What's the situation? What's going on? You got to name it, right? And you got to choose, what I'm going to do. What's the reason? What's happening here? What am I going to do? And then maybe you need to put a request. The last thing is to speak. What is the last thing you're going to do? That's the last thing you're going to do. You see, we do 3 actions before we even say anything. There's 3 actions before you do anything. Before you do anything, you must get your body under control. So this is where you can begin to look at that. This is where you can regulate yourself. This is where you can communicate effectively and express yourself and have emotional literacy. All right? All right. So thank you so much. I am complete with this. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Anything I said today that you need more clarity about? I know I gave a new concept today, emotional literacy. Let me put this in the chat. And this works together hand in hand with you being able to do this, you being able to work this out for yourself. Okay. Any questions or comments? Let me go to the chat. Sophia says, I thought this was good. Was this the first time you heard this concept, Sophia?
No, it
Okay.
wasn't. I mean, you've taught me that decades ago, but in a different way. Um, I think I was carrying like a lot of stuff, and you were like, "Why are you doing that? There's other people here that can help you." And I was like, "Oh, you know." But it's true. I mean, a lot of times we take women, especially, like I'm away from that now. Every time someone tries to add more burden or more of a complicated to my task, I say I have a soft life now. I don't do those things anymore. No, thank you. No, thank you.
You have agency now. A lot of us don't feel like we have agency to even decline that. And just to say, Sophia, you're a single mom. You and then and you were doing the darn thing. When that little girl came, you were like, okay.
Yes. I had to get my life together. I was playing around. I mean, it's one thing to be a bachelorette and doing it all on your own. And, you're okay with the choices you make, but now you got a little person relying on you. I don't, the idea in my mind as a mom, I have to make her life has to be better than mine's. And then she will have a better life to give to her kids. I don't see the point of just sustaining. I want to thrive. So, am I at a better place? Yes. But was I doing a lot? Yes. I won't.
You also asked for support as well.
Yes. Yes.
That was a big thing for you too,
Yes.
to ask for support and learning how to do that. So the strong Black woman comes into place.
Yep. And after a while, it sounds great to society, but in real life, it is exhausting. I mean, there's still people I've reconnected with in my past recently, and they work so many jobs. I'm like, but why? Why do you do this? There's more than one way. And my best friend's like, well, some people are just conditioned that way. So that's a rough way to be because we've always been taught we had to be self sufficient. We can't rely on anybody. but there is strength in community and people that you can actually trust versus just doing it all on your own and then you're slowly killing yourself.
Well,
I
let's talk about that a little bit. So, when someone has a lot of jobs and someone is working, that is something that they're taught to do. And we have to normalize that for them in order for them to hear you. So,
yeah.
if you go into a space, and this is good, Sophia, when someone has multiple jobs like that, it's their condition to say, I have to. Some people do have to have multiple jobs.
Yes.
In the moment. But
Right.
like I think what you're saying is that what we've done a lot is work and see what is your value out there that you can now give to the world. And being
Exactly.
able to do that, we're conditioned to work a lot of jobs and to be burned out. There's someone that passed away this year. She worked her way to the grave.
Yep.
Wonderful woman. She had a daycare in the morning. At night, she will go to the it's called a residence home with people with disabilities. She will get 3 hours of sleep, come back home, go grocery shopping in the morning time sometime, do laundry, do this. That woman at 62 passed away.
Oh wow.
She normalized it, and she was married. And this is the thing. This is the thing. When you're understanding what that looks like, nobody ever taught her. She saw her mother work like that. She saw just non-stop. Your body at some point will give out. So you got to regulate yourself. You got to understand what are the things that I've been conditioned to that no longer works for me now. And this is an opportunity for us to see when you see that. This is why I have these things here. So we can actually tell another woman, hey, there's a better way. I used to be you. I found a better way. Tell them to come on these calls. I found a better way. I found a better way. I can ask for help. And sometimes, let me just be honest. Let me just be honest. Sometimes those people that's going to help you may not be people in your household. Okay, I'm just saying that. So there could be people that will help you outside of the house just for a little while, just to bridge you. You good, so Sophia? That was good.
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, I feel like there's seasons where you will have to grind all gears, burn candles on both ends of the night, but it's not forever. When I
Yeah,
meet people that's doing it forever, I'm like, but why? What is your real goal here? but um, but yes, that was very great. Uh, yeah,
yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Lady Michelle, she has her hand up,
God bless. God bless. Can you hear me?
loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. Sophia opened up something. She really opened up something, and I just wanted to say quickly, I was definitely her. I was the person that would work for two full-time jobs, etc. And I realized it was for two reasons. One, my mother was never a good steward over money, never. And we experienced so much lack and so much insecurity that I had really decided very early that that wasn't going to be me. But then, secondly, I became a very young teenage mom. And I can remember very early going to the state to ask for help. And the literal way that she looked at me, I decided then again that no, I'm never asking for help. And um, that stuck with me almost to my detriment because once I found a man or a man found me that really wanted to relieve a lot of that mindset, it took many, many years for me to trust where my life had evolved and stop the whole hustle and grind mindset. So it is something that has to be broken internally and also understanding where my true provision comes from, which is the hand of God. And so this is a great conversation And I have much compassion for women that I see grinding like that because there's always a root. There's, I'll never forget that look from the social service agent. And I walked out of there and gave her all kinds of middle fingers. And it stuck with me. So thank you for opening that up. And I'm glad that I can speak from a healed place now.
That's good. And that's what we're talking about. Now we said agency. She has to, now I know Lachelle, so she asks us for support. If she feels like anything is happening or like it's too much on her plate or she feels like a little stress is coming on, she asks us for help. But that wasn't always her story. This is why you got to come to these places so you can say, okay, also, it's okay for me to ask for help. It's she was like that too. I get, when we as a therapist, we've learned, there's individual therapy, but we learned statistically that group therapy moves people quicker. Now this is not therapy, but this is a form of understanding how we get in a group and you see that you are not the only one going through this. This story is not isolated to you. And as that, we got to look at how we may be carrying our own insecurities for something that happened 20 years ago. And then we look at our layer, and then we have layers. It's layers. But like the shell found comfort in God. You can begin to look at how she spiritually framed it for herself. She anchors herself in God. And in the moment, in asking yourself, what is it that you need? Everything is going to be very different for each other because we're at different places of our lives. So when you hear a story like Sophia shared, when you hear me share, when you hear Lachelle or one of the other ladies share on here, how about we give each other compassion? I like the word that Lachelle said. How about we give each other compassion? How about when we see a sister and we could actually give them some, and maybe they want some support, or maybe we can talk to them in the moment, but maybe ask them first. Because sometimes our pride gets in the way as well. So I love that. I love that. You don't have to hustle, keep in that hustle mentality, and you can get out that survival mentality. And you could begin to be able to really, really be strategic about your life and still be able to release everything and anything that you are so desiring. All right. Anyone else? Let me check the chat. I don't see anybody's hand. All right. So we do have a comment in the chat from Shawnee. This was great. I don't want to complain or be a complainer. Today, I'm realizing that expressing my true feelings isn't complaining. It's called having emotional literacy. Yes. And this is the thing also. That's a breakthrough for you, Shawnee, because a lot of us have been told that we're nagging and we're complaining. But I want to let you know that your voice deserves to be honored. Expressing yourself is not complaining, it's not weakness. And today, you may be noticing that in a space where people think that you're complaining, I want to show you how you can begin to effectively communicate yourself without anybody making you feel like you should be shameful that you're doing it. All right. Wanda says, yes, breaking the cycle of this is how it has always been done. Perfect. Ming says, great info, great input, shares. Have an awesome day, ladies. She had to, and that's what that is. You come in get what you need, and you jump off. Any other questions or comments before we let you go? This was really good, ladies. I really, 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 really appreciate you coming on. I want you to share it out with someone. Let them know this calls and these things are on my YouTube channel, Speak Your Power Now. And you want to be able to speak up. But if you don't know what you're feeling, don't speak just yet. Okay? Get in tune with your body. Before emotional literacy means that I'm in tune with my body. Don't speak unless you know that you can name the feeling. That's the one thing I want you to do. Do not speak unless you are ready to name that. You can't set a boundary, you can't name it, you're going to get violated. Can't communicate effectively, don't suppress anything. Remember that emotional literacy is the missing piece today. So don't explode, don't suppress. You're moving forward with clarity, direct, and effective communication. I love you to life. Go ahead and subscribe and share, and know that your voice matters, and begin to move into speaking your power now. God bless. I'm Dr. Cheryl Clarke. Until next time, have a wonderful day, ladies.
You are enough. Your voice is divine. Now